Be prepared. What we are about to witness will trigger a shift that can't be reversed. And now, the countdown has officially started. Something about the energy right now just shouldn't make sense, but somehow it's working in your favor. Things are bending, opening, sinking. And the strangest part? Most people have no idea they're inside a cosmic pressure point. As the end of this chaotic electric month approaches, something is slipping through the cracks. It's subtle, but it's getting louder. You're not late. You're exactly on time for what's coming next. And if something strange or small happened recently that felt like a signal, something you almost dismissed, maybe don't. Those tiny flickers often come right before the snap. If you feel like sharing, drop it in the comments. And if it aligns, add 888 along with your comment. Not for luck, but to seal your readiness for the wave that's building right now. And if everything's been intense, serious, or heavy lately, keep watching, because the universe is about to do something so hilariously inconvenient, so weirdly timed, it might actually change everything. You'll see why. But first, there's something more important. Because what if the noise around you isn't just noise? Have you noticed how everything suddenly feels louder? Not chaotic, not messy, just amplified. The clock ticks louder. A bird call sounds like it's saying something. You overhear someone say exactly what you were thinking, word for word. That's not just your brain playing tricks on you. That's the signal finding a crack in your awareness. It's always been there, but you just matched its pitch. Today and tomorrow, you may feel like you're being followed by echoes, signs, repeated patterns. It's not because you're spiraling. It's because something is trying to break through to you, and it's not being quiet about it. You were never out of sync. The volume was just low. And now, the dial's been turned way up. And you'll want to know why this moment couldn't wait. Because Saturn just crashed through the gates, and it's not here to ask for permission. When the planet of time chooses speed, you listen. One of the biggest reasons why these 48 hours feel like a pressure cooker is this. Saturn has officially blasted into Aries. And no, this isn't soft. It's not gentle. It's not asking for alignment or intention or vision boards. Saturn in Aries isn't waiting for you to get your life together. It's slamming the door open and saying, move, or be moved. This is warrior energy, but not the kind that swings swords, the kind that burns down hesitation, the kind that pushes things forward whether you're ready or not. And the truth is, most people aren't. Saturn doesn't normally play in Aries. It's like mixing an architect with a wildfire. Structure with raw momentum. It's tense, but it works. And when that energy hits, it activates timelines that would have taken years in days. Sometimes fate doesn't knock. It kicks the door in wearing boots. The window we're in right now, it's not about just feeling the shift. It's about recognizing that it's already happening. The clarity, the chaos, the urgency, the impatience, they're not side effects. They're symptoms of an activation. Because what Saturn in Aries does is this. It removes all delay. And while this is only one of the reasons these 48 hours matter, it's a major one. Because it sets the tone, and if you match that tone, the universe starts answering at full volume. The moon isn't the match. It's the explosion. Right now, this very moment, is the charging period. What you say, what you think, how you move, how you react. That's the spell. That's the ignition. The 27th doesn't ask what you want. It reflects what you've summoned. Powerful moments don't arrive fully formed. They build in silence, and then they strike. Think of this new moon like a storm cloud. What you're doing now, that's the static building in the air. That's the pressure stacking on the inside of the sky. When the moon peaks, it won't be gentle. It will be loud, and it will hit in exactly the direction you aimed your energy in these 2 days. This is not the time to retreat into silence. This is not the moment to wait and see. You're in the crafting zone now, because if you sit these 48 hours out, the moon will pass over you like wind. But if you lean into it fully, you'll ride a wave that carries through June and into something much bigger. Revelations don't need an audience. The universe speaks louder in silence. Despite everything going on astrologically, energetically, and cosmically, the moment that actually shifts something for you won't happen during a live stream, a group circle, or a guided meditation with chimes in the background. It's not going to happen during the ritual. It's going to happen when you're brushing your teeth, or closing the fridge, or sitting on the floor, scrolling on your phone in total silence before bed. That's when it will strike. This energy is subtle but precise, and it doesn't wait for ceremony. It doesn't need drama or performance. It needs space, because the surge isn't coming from the outside. It's already on its way through you. This is the kind of moment where people report strange clarity for no reason. They suddenly remember something they hadn't thought about in years. They feel a pulse, or a shortness of breath, or a weight lifting that they didn't know was there. That moment, when you blink and suddenly feel different, when the air in the room seems to shift even though nothing actually moved, that's not just a passing thought. That's part of the charge. The truth doesn't arrive with thunder. It slips through the silence when you're finally still enough to hear it. This is the moment when frequency spikes, not because someone pressed play on a sound bath, but because you finally hit a moment of perfect energetic stillness. The mind slows down just enough for the upgrade to land. And what's even more wild is that if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it entirely. That download, that inner knowing, that sudden yes, that moment of certainty, it will come when you least expect it, and it won't knock twice. You might feel a chill. You might get emotional over something completely ordinary. Or maybe nothing seems to happen at all until the next morning when something clicks into place. So don't chase it. Don't force it. Just stay open. These are the first ripples of the lunar wave that's coming, and the quieter you are, the louder they'll be. But here's the twist. The energy doesn't just bring clarity, it brings returns. And some of them, you won't even see coming. Not everything you asked for is lost. Some of it was just delayed until now. There's something incredibly strange that happens in windows like this. Forgotten desires begin to resurface, not in your thoughts, but in your life. You might randomly receive an offer, a message, an invitation, or an opportunity that looks completely random, until you realize it matches something you once desperately wanted, but gave up on. And the weirdest part? It doesn't feel like a test or some sort of spiritual trap. It feels like a strange kind of arrival, like a package showing up months late, but just in time to still matter. This window is unlocking a very specific kind of energetic recall. Something deep inside your field, a wish, a want, a version of you that once reached out, is finally getting a response. These are the manifestations that don't make sense anymore on the surface, but still feel right. The job you applied for a year ago. The connection you thought ended. The move you tried to make before the timing collapsed. The universe isn't trying to tease you, it's catching up. Desires don't always expire. Some just wait for the sky to say yes. Synchronicities will start lining up, strange alignments, odd timings, perfect phrases from strangers that echo your old goals, or old messages resurfacing when you weren't even looking for them. This isn't just coincidence, it's a spiritual breadcrumb trail leading you back to something that was always yours, but needed this exact version of you to receive it. So don't be surprised if, over the next day or two, you start to feel like life is pulling you toward things you barely remember asking for. Not every message is meant to be understood when it arrives. Some are keys made for locks you haven't reached yet. Over the next 2 days, you might experience something you can't immediately explain. And no, it won't come labeled or packaged like a traditional sign. It might not even feel important in the moment. But that's exactly why it matters. There is a message coming, and not in the metaphorical, symbolic, vague, spiritual way. I mean an actual, real-world moment, a sentence, a slip of paper, a stranger's comment, a phrase in a dream, or even a lyric that repeats in your head for no reason. It will feel off, out of place, like it landed in your reality before it was supposed to, and it probably did. These moments are breadcrumb-like transmissions from your future timeline, dropped early, on purpose. You won't be able to decode them yet. They'll hover in the back of your mind, annoying, random, unresolved. But that's the whole point. They're seeds, not answers. People tend to think divine messages should feel grand or poetic or dripping with mystical symbolism. But often, they're short, abrupt, and almost laughably cryptic. They don't feel deep when they arrive, they feel misplaced. Because they're not for the current version of you, they're echoes meant to wake something up later. Sometimes the soul receives things the conscious mind isn't ready for, and so they pass unnoticed. But during a window like this, they tend to hit harder. They stick, even when they don't make sense. Pay attention to the strange, the misplaced, the overheard, and the out of place. They're time-folded clues disguised as nothing. You might overhear someone say a phrase that hits you out of nowhere, or see a number or word that loops strangely throughout your day. You might have a brief conversation that leaves you feeling slightly tilted. It won't add up right away. Don't force it to. Just mark it down in your awareness. Let it live there. Trust that it's not an error, but a prelude. This is a suspense moment in your storyline, the part where something odd happens and the main character doesn't know why it matters yet. But they will. And so will you. And now that your subconscious is listening, it's the perfect time for the universe to pull its favorite move, send you something completely ridiculous. Not all signs are serious. Sometimes the divine sends a joke just to see if you're paying attention. Remember earlier when I said the universe might do something silly just to mess with you? Yeah, this is that moment. And no, it's not a prank, it's a strategy. Spirit has a sense of humor, and when energy gets this charged, one of the ways it slips past your walls is by doing something that catches you off guard. And often, that means making you laugh. In the next 48 hours, you may experience a moment that's so bizarre, so oddly timed, or so absurd that you'll second-guess whether it's even real. Like a squirrel locking eyes with you just as you think something dramatic. Or your device randomly playing a sound that weirdly matches your inner mood. Maybe a friend sends a message clearly meant for someone else, but it somehow describes your life way too accurately. These are spiritual curveballs, sacred mischief. And they're designed to wake you up, not with fear, but with surprise. When spirit can't get your attention through silence, it will use comedy. We spend so much time taking energy seriously, watching for deep messages, journaling through the shadows, decoding patterns. But sometimes the biggest shift happens when you let your guard down, when you're laughing, when you're off script. When the universe tosses you a rubber chicken and says, "Are you paying attention now?" You may witness a synchronicity so strange that you can't even explain it to anyone without sounding unhinged. A coincidence that is so dumb, so impossible, and yet it sticks with you. You feel it. Something real moved behind it. These are the frequency cracks where magic slips in sideways, not with lightning and revelation, but with awkward timing and divine absurdity. So in the next 48 hours, don't dismiss the goofy, the weird, the moment that makes you giggle and then wonder why it mattered so much. It may be the clearest message you receive all week, because the truth is, the universe isn't just testing your awareness, it's testing your receptivity. If you can see the sacred in the ridiculous, if you can catch the wink in the chaos, you've already passed. The future sometimes knocks early, not to be let in, but to remind you it's already on its way. Over the next 2 days, a few of you, maybe more than a few, are going to stumble across something that feels too big, too soon. It might be a message that shows up out of nowhere, a sudden invitation, a chance conversation that sparks a future plan, a job opening that hits a nerve, a person returning with impeccable timing, a vision or download that comes in so clear you'd swear it's happening now. But then, nothing. Silence. No follow-through, no confirmation. It lingers like a trailer for a film that hasn't come out yet. And that's because it hasn't. Not yet. You're being teased on purpose. Not to frustrate you, not to test your patience, but to prepare your nervous system for what's coming next. Some of you are being shown what's about to happen, not so you can get it faster, but so you're emotionally ready when it does. This isn't the denial of your breakthrough, it's the soft reveal. A whisper from a future version of your life, sent to give your body and spirit a moment to adjust. If everything hit you all at once, it might short-circuit the version of you that hasn't fully opened to receiving it yet. So if you feel like the universe is dangling something just out of reach, if the signs are strong, but the steps aren't lining up, don't spiral into doubt. Don't force clarity where it hasn't landed yet. Just witness it. Note it. Hold the vision gently, without trying to possess it. Think of it like a dream that visits before it's meant to become real. Not as fantasy, but as calibration. The message has already arrived because what you're stepping into needs a preview phase. It needs you calm. It needs you steady. It needs you to recognize it later, not just chase it now. Sometimes you'll see the right door before you have the key. And if you're getting goosebumps or déjà vu or sudden specific insights that feel eerily early, know this. The veil is thin for a reason right now. You're not being teased by accident. The vision wouldn't have shown itself if it wasn't on the way. But don't mistake visibility for timing. What's arriving isn't late, it's just dressing the stage. And as the preview fades back into fog, the sky itself starts to shift. The cosmos doesn't always shout. Sometimes it simply pauses and waits for your signal. Right now, this very moment, we're in the middle of something that's hard to explain, but impossible not to feel. It's not just emotional. It's not just energetic. It's cosmic. You might have noticed it already. This odd suspension in the air, like time is holding still just half a second longer than it should. That strange quietness in between your thoughts, the heaviness in your chest, the feeling like everything's waiting for something, but you don't know what. Here's the truth. The universe is holding its breath. And it's not for drama. It's for you. Because for the next 48 hours, Nothing is fully set in motion. Not yet. Everything is in that delicate, pivotal moment. The inhale before the exhale. The calm before the spell is cast. The still point right before the current shifts. And it's not the world that makes the next move. It's you. That's what makes this window so rare, so important. Because the decisions you make this weekend, the energy you choose to embody, the yeses you give, and the no's you finally declare, they don't just influence your week. They write code into the rest of your year. This is when the universe is most receptive. This is when the fabric is still soft enough to shape. This is when your whisper becomes law. Every choice made during a cosmic pause is louder than you think. It becomes part of the rhythm that follows. So when you feel the stillness, don't rush to fill it. Don't panic because something isn't happening fast enough. That stillness isn't delay, it's permission. It's your cue to move first. Say the thing, decline the thing, apply, withdraw, text, delete. Whatever it is, do it with intention. Because the sky is not only watching, it's responding. This is one of those rare weekends where energy folds around action, where your choices are not just decisions, they're requests, spoken directly into the open ear of the cosmos. And once the breath releases, that choice echoes, not for a day, not for a week, but all the way into what June, July, and even August will bring next. So ask carefully, move deliberately, and know the universe is waiting for you to go first. This is not a crossroads, this is a doorway, and it won't stay open forever. Right now, not next week, not on the 27th, but right now, we are standing at the edge of something that doesn't happen often. A spiritual tipping point. A narrow, energetic gate that only opens when certain alignments click into place. And they just did. May 24th and 25th aren't just dates on a calendar, they're coordinates. They mark the threshold between what has been circling you for months and what is finally ready to land. This is when your field becomes fully receptive, but only if you're present for it. The truth is, what you asked for has already been summoned. The signal was sent. The threads were spun. And now it's moving closer. You can feel it. In the random rushes of excitement, in the way your mind keeps wandering toward possibilities, in the eerie sense that something's watching, not with judgment, but with timing. This weekend is when that arrival energy peaks. But here's what no one tells you. You don't get what you're asking for by waiting around. You get it by meeting it halfway. And that means waking up now. Not next week. Not when you feel fully prepared. Not when you have all the answers. Don't wait to feel ready. Readiness is not the door, awareness is. Hesitation is its own ritual. When you pause too long at a door like this, it doesn't stay open. It fades. And while life will still go on, this particular window, this exact opening, won't be back. Not with the same charge, not with this same intensity. Some of you are already feeling the nudge, a quiet knowing in your gut. A name keeps repeating in your mind. A strange pull toward a decision you've been postponing. That's not just intuition, that's alignment. That's the future trying to link with you. This isn't about pressure, it's about precision. The field is responsive now. The energy is fertile now. And if you shift into receiving mode before this weekend ends, things will start to move faster than you expect. Synchronicities won't trickle in, they'll rush. The clarity won't whisper, it will land. And the people, ideas, or signs you've been waiting on, they won't knock twice. You have just hours left to shift into receiving mode. This is a pulse in the timeline that either launches you forward or loops you back. And the truth is, The universe has already stepped toward you. Now it's your turn to take that last step through the door. Don't blink, don't stall. Because this window, this wild, rare opening, isn't waiting. If you're still watching, I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Your support is very appreciated. Feel free to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more insightful content.